Hello, everyone. It is I, the best boy Fable forever. Where am I going with this? Hi, guys. How are you? It's me, Fable. Your new best friend, the Fable of Fables. Your new best friend. How you guys doing? I'm still kind of upset right now, so please forgive me. I just ate, so I'm a little weird right now. Uh, we're actually you guys seem to enjoy when I learn about Gundam, and I enjoy learning about Gundam. I really hope I haven't learned about the Gogg. Gogg is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, let's go.
Hello everyone, Slothcakes here, and welcome to the
Hi,
second
Sloth
episode of
Cakes.
Amphibious Analysis, where we look at the strange amphibious mobile suits of the Gundam universe and go through their history, performance, specs, and lore. Now today we're going to be going back and looking at Zeon's first amphibious mobile suit. Well, technically, we're going to be looking at the first successful amphibious mobile suit, and that's going to be the MSM-03 Gogg. Now
Gogg.
let's start
That's
things off with
Gogg.
appearance, and he is round.
I love him. He's so stupid looking. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but he's so silly looking. He's a round, eggy boy. I love the fact that he looks like he has like a little belt or something. It's so cute. I
Really
love this
round.
model.
Well, silhouette-wise, he's more like an egg than round.
Yeah,
He's an
he's an
egg
eggy
with massive
boy.
claws and giant hooved feet.
Yeah.
Which for Xenon's first amphibious mobile suit, they really nailed that horrifying demon look, so good on them.
That's
Moving
a
to the
demon?
head, specifically the
Aw,
mono eye,
it's a
it can
baby.
point upwards and it can go diagonal left and right,
Ooh,
so
that's
it
kind
looks
of
like an
cool.
arrow pointing downwards. And being paired with a dome head that could swivel left and right, the Gogg's got all two more spots covered. But now, time for some history. After
Oh,
Zeonic Company's failed attempt to rehashing the Zaku by slapping on random shit onto it and
makes
calling it the
sense.
Zaku Marina, they gave the job to Zimmad Company to develop a new mobile suit from the ground up. Well, we could say water up.
Woo.
Sorry. For the purpose of amphibious maneuverability and combat. Now developed and deployed in UC-0079, Zimmad Company successfully made Zeon's first official amphibious mobile suit. And being the first means it's gonna have some problems.
Oh yeah.
Quite a few
Oh,
actually.
that actually makes a
And
lot
you're
of
gonna
sense.
slowly start to realize them once this video goes on, and just by looking at the guy, you can probably name a few.
I love him.
Moving to stats, the Gogg stands at 18.3 meters tall, which is a little less than a meter taller than the Zaku 2. Now as for weight, the Gogg comes at a hefty 82.4 metric tons, and comparing to the Zaku 2, this guy's pretty big, which is pretty obvious if you look at him,
Oh,
and
yeah.
thankfully this is not for show. Some of this weight can be attributed to the Gogg's hefty armor. This guy's armor is made to withstand the ocean's underwater pressure, but it also
It makes sense given the fact that I don't know how many of you actually realize this, but the deeper you go into the ocean, the more pressure you actually your body will actually start to suffer. That's why if you're in a machine or a submarine that can't handle it, your body kind of implodes into itself because of the pressure. There's a lot of science into it, and it's kind of cool that they figure out a way to at least make it so that the armor around the Gogg has enough to be able to stand a certain amount of pressure. I don't know how deep it can go into the ocean, but I think that's kind of
with
cool.
defense, where the Gogg was shown to take small vehicle fire such as tanks and fighters with ease, and was able to withstand the Gundam's head Vulcans, which are strong enough to shred a Zaku too.
Oh,
But one of
damn.
his most impressive feats was the Gogg was able to take a hit from the Gundam's Hyper Hammer. Not only
Not the hyper hammer. Chat. Explain, guys. Actually, can you explain to me how strong the hyper hammer is? I'm actually generally
did the
curious.
Gogg take a hit.
I would ask Mech or my friend Trevix, but whenever I have them in the room together, and one talks about how much he doesn't like Xeon, the other one kind of, they kind of have a beautiful argument. I love both of them, but
From this and stand back up, but the next incoming hit, the Gogg actually caught with both of his hands.
Oh damn.
Now with that being said, the Gundam Hammer and the Hyper Hammer are not considered canon weapons. They
Makes
only appear in the
sense.
OG anime, so there's a lot of things there. However, for the sake of the video, I do want to add it because it is something he did, and the Gogg doesn't really make that much of appearance in general, which I'll talk about a little later, and also the Hyper Hammer and Gundam Hammer are really cool weapons. Like, come on, who doesn't want a giant spike ball and chain with the mech?
Seriously, who
Now
doesn't?
let's go back to this guy's weight because there's still more information. Now,
Also, isn't that just a flail? Like, God, I'm not actually that good at weapons, but can someone explain to me if that's just a flail?
At
Or like a
maximum
morning star?
capacity, this guy comes in at
It's probably not any of those.
159.4 metric tons, and you might be asking why. Well, his ammo might add to that weight, but considering his only ammunition is
He fat.
missiles, it's not a
He
majority.
fat.
His
Oh
beam guns
no.
might help, weighing at 38.7 tons,
He's an
but we'll
absolute
touch on
unit
that
now.
soon. However, a larger factor could be his generator's cooling system, which let's segment into right now. The Gogg is fitted with the Minovsky Ultra Compact Fusion Reactor, which is a standard reactor found in various mobile suits like the Zaku 2. However, he has a significantly higher output than the Zaku 2, and this is because the Gogg's unique cooling system of using seawater to cool the reactor, and this lets the reactor reach higher limits compared to other.
That's actually kind of cool. The fact that it allows that it's made specifically to use seawater to try to cool itself. It's interesting. I like that design aspect of it.
Mobile suits. Now, the Gogg would store a large amount of seawater in tanks, allowing it to keep its generator cool while on land. Now, this does add a lot more weight to an already heavy machine, but even with this system, the Gogg only has a short operation time of
Short
1 to
runtime
2
of-
hours.
Ooh.
Since the cooling system is effective, it's not completely fleshed out like future amphibious mobile suits. Now, before we segment into weapons and armaments, let's talk about appearances. The Gogg doesn't appear in much. Besides the original anime, he's never really had a big role in anything, and saying he has a big role in the original anime is giving it a stretch.
Makes
The
sense.
Gogg just doesn't appear in that much media. He does appear in plenty of games, however, in anime, OVAs, and manga, I couldn't find that much. I
Fair
only could
enough.
say original anime, Gundam Thunderbolt, and there's also this short but great scene in
Oh
Double
God,
Zeta where
Thunderbolt.
Gogg appears, and I do want to highlight this because in this scene the Gogg's holding this massive spear taller than it, and I just find it really goofy that there's a spear taller than a mobile suit, and I also find it double so because
I mean, yeah, that is kind of silly, but it's kind of cool though. Like, I think whoever designed it was just like, "Hey, I have a silly idea. Can I run with it?" And they're like, "All right, go for it, bud." And there he is, the dog, a red one, holding a giant spear. He's gonna do spear things.
that spear the
Is that specific? Okay, actually, question, because I'm kind of curious. When it comes to Char, however you pronounce his name, Char is Char. When it comes to Char, does all of his mobile suits that he uses have to be red? Is there a specific reason for that, or is it just kind of this to show that it's important and it's just his specific model? If anyone can answer that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Gogg's
I'm
holding
generally
is not
curious.
nearly as good as a melee weapon as the Gogg's massive claw hands, so it's just kinda goofy there. However, I do get the vibe, it's very cute, absolutely adorable, and it's just kinda goofy that I wanted to share. But while we're on the topic of weapons, let's head on over there. So the first thing we're going to cover is equipment known as the Furryvtuber. It's stored in the top of the Gogg's head, and when in use, it will shoot a capsule coating the Gogg in this gelatinous webbing material. It's mainly used when the Gogg's in underwater in cruise mode, and it will cover most of the front part of the Gogg's body, and what it does is it allows it to go through underwater mines without them detonating. Next up is something that's used right after the Furryvtuber, and it's on these slots on the top of the Gogg's head. And these house a weapon which we do not have a name for,
Aww.
and we don't know if these are beam weapons or ballistic rounds because of the animation, but we can easily determine that they're either low energy beam weapons or low caliber weapons that are used to shoot mines, torpedoes, or other small marine vehicles. But if anyone knows any more information about these things, please tell me. I couldn't find anything, especially a name, so we're just gonna call it the shooty bits on the top of his head. But anyways, let's go on to melee weapons. And the Gogg has a very standard Xeon type weapon found in many amphibious mobile suits, and that's known as the Iron Nails. And they do have
I love the iron nails. God damn it! I sound like a world eater. sorry, just something my friend says all the time. My friend kind of reminds me of the fact that he has nails in his head. Those of you that know Warhammer, and yeah, those of you that know Warhammer, yes, it's my video. I can talk about whatever. Calm down, brain. Anyway, yes, I don't know. I love nail type weapons, like the way like this kind of gloves or nail type weapons on suits or just in general. I can't explain why. I just think they look nice. It's weird. I'm weird.
Variants that found in
Anyway,
future suits like the Vice Claw or Iron Claw, but all these weapons share a very common similarity. And those similarities are the internal weapons being part of the mobile suit, the hard material,
look at him,
sharp,
big boy.
and
No,
the
he's bullying my gyms. No, don't bully my boy.
non-heated. The reason for the
He's bullying my boy, Chad. I hate him.
last part is fairly simple. You don't want your claws to heat up while you're underwater because you are a stealth suit and you don't produce a lot of heat, so you can go under things like thermal vision. But if your claws heat up, you kind of stick out like a sore thumb and your cover will be blown. Now the Gogg's iron nails are pretty impressive, and they do stand out from the rest. And why, you might be asking? Well, first thing is the things are goddamn huge.
Oh yeah.
And paired with razor sharp claws, you do not want to be in slapping distance of this guy. And for a fun fact, the Gogg's hands don't house any weapons or anything, meaning that these hands are pretty
100% hand and 100% for everyone. Oh yeah, they're rated E for everyone, chat. Let's go. I'm sorry. I like making that joke. I like telling everyone I know that these hands are my hands are rated E for everyone. Oh, I love this.
sturdy hunks of metal, making the slaps hurt even more. And just as a tier list of amphibious mobile suits you don't want to get slapped by, the Gogg's pretty high up there.
Ooh, look at all those pretty models. Oh, I love them. Oh yeah, I can walk it off. The last one I remember that one. I don't remember the name of it since it's been a while, but they have almost all my favorite boys here. That's so cute. I know you can see my mouse, hopefully. I love this guy right here because he's silly. I love him because he's an egg. I love this one because it's just so stupid looking, but I want to hug it. I want like 10. I legitimately want to buy a gunpla of this to build it. I'm scared to build gunpla, guys. I'm like the kind of person that if something breaks, I literally feel like I did something wrong and I want to cry. It's actually kind of sad. This one's funny. The Agman or something like that. This one's another round eggy boy. This one, I love this one because I don't know, this design is just silly to me. This one, I love the colors. Ooh, it's this boy. No idea who these guys are, but oh, wait, this one. I kind of know this one. I remember watching it in one of the videos. Do I remember the names? Nope. Sorry, guys. Sorry if that actually bothers you guys. I don't remember everything. My brain's kind of fried, but hey.
Next up, let's move to the Gogg's main weapon, and that's the Twin Abdomen Megaparticle Cannon. And as the name suggests, it's located in the abdomen, specifically the belly button region. But please don't picture the Gogg with a belly button. That's putting images that I don't want to see. Anyways, the Gogg's one of the first mobile suits to be deployed with a beam weapon. And we can thank that to his unique cooling system, which allows his generator to reach higher outputs. And not only that, he doesn't deploy with one beam weapon, he has two of them, right next to each other. Now they both fire at the same time, just shooting a large shot. And since there's two of them, they just fire right next to each other, making a much horizontally bigger shot. Nothing too special there. But this is a very effective weapon in his kit, because paired with his thick armor, most weapons at the time, being ballistic shots, couldn't pierce his armor, so the Gogg could just turn around, face the enemy, and punch a hole in their chest. Located right next to his megaparticle cannon, we have the torpedo launcher, which are simple twin rockets that can be fired on both land and water, and a fairly simple basic ballistic explosive. The torpedo launcher. They shoot torpedo. There's not really that much to say. And that's it for his weapons, fairly simple. However, you probably noticed something about his ranged weapons, and that they're located both on the abdomen, practically in the same spot. And you can guess that these do cause problems. Having all your range options on your stomach means that you're gonna have to face anything you shoot. And yes, while he is a stealth unit, every ordeal you encounter isn't going to be in your favor. So if someone is to the side or behind you, you're gonna have to take a full 180 degrees, and you're not the most nimble of mobile suits, so it's gonna take you some time to turn, so you're gonna really have to put trust in your thick armor. Now thankfully, Xeon did fix this major problem by giving future amphibious mobile suits weapons in their hands, giving them a longer area of effect.
Oh yeah.
Now we're going to be moving back in time, because Zimmad didn't nail the Gogg on their first try, and like with anything, prototypes are made. So let's go back in time and look at the prototype Gogg. Now visually, this guy is very busy compared to the Gogg. He has a lot going on with his body.
Oh my god, I love it. It is so stupid looking. I love this. I love the prototype. It's adorable. Oh, look at it. Look at it. It's so stupid. I love it.
Thinner
Oh, I
arms,
want it.
a pail-like body, having the head of a dom. He's weird. In my
He
opinion,
is
he kinda
weird.
looks like a
He's
silverback
my boy.
gorilla, or just like a gorilla in general. I don't know why I see that, but every time I look at this guy, I just can't get it out of my mind. So the first thing I want to talk about is a little fun fact. The prototype Gogg visually has more thrusters than the Gogg,
Oh, yeah.
specifically around the legs and with a bigger backpack. However, the prototype Gogg has been noted to be much slower than the Gogg, which is really shocking. Well, they
Buddy.
don't give a specific reason on why. However, what I think is these thrusters, while plentiful, aren't made for underwater terrain. Or it could be that these thrusters aren't made to support this much weight, or it could be a combination of the two. Whatever the reason is, we don't have it, but just know that this guy is really, really slow.
I love
Now
him.
moving on to weapons,
I
we have a very
too am
interesting
really,
thing about
really
the
slow.
prototype Gogg, and that's his torpedo location. Now this picture you see, the torpedoes are in the exact same spot they are in the completed Gogg. However, originally, they wanted the torpedoes to be located in the arms of the Gogg. And this
In
is
the
the same
arms?
problem that I said
Oh,
with the original one,
interesting.
where they realized that the Gogg has to face whatever it's shooting, which gives it a really weird area of effect or area of range. So if they added the torpedoes to the arms, it would allow the Gogg to shoot around without making a complete turn. This was nice on paper. The major problem relied on the arms. Every time the Gogg was moving about or in cruise mode, if he tried to aim the torpedoes with his arm, he would have to fight all that water resistance.
Yeah,
And
that
in
makes
best case
sense,
scenario,
actually.
it would push his arm away, making his shot miss, or in worst case scenario, it could push against the joint, breaking or damaging the arms.
Yeah.
This problem would be increased more while the Gogg was traveling long distances over a long period of time, so they scrapped this idea and moved the torpedoes into the stomach.
Probably for the
Moving
best,
on
to
to
be
the
honest.
next problem, which also relied on his arms, the problem he had was, well, in general, his arms. You see, his arms look like regular mobile suit arms, which
I
led
love
to a
his
big
arms.
problem.
I love his
When
legs.
the
I
Gogg
love
was
him.
in cruise mode or just moving underwater, his arms would increase his area of mass, which would slow him down. And since the Gogg, specifically the prototype Gogg, was already slow, this would make him even slower. Not only that, having irregular joints on this guy means that the water pressure or water current could press against these joints, causing them to be damaged or break. Now all this leads to the arms the Gogg has now. This is why they're that weird tube-like wacky inflatable arms, and this is why you see them in a lot of amphibious mobile suits. Them being able to bend around means that they can't snap if they bend in the wrong direction because of water currents. And a nice thing about the Gogg is he has these large arms, however he can actually retract his arms into his body, which decreases his size, allowing him to swim faster when he's in cruise mode.
Oh yeah, makes
And
sense.
that covers everything I wanted to say about the Gogg. Well, the original Gogg. We still have some reimaginations to talk about, but these are going to be really short. First up is Gundam The Origin. The only difference I can say is he visually looks more detailed. That's the only thing
Yeah, that's literally it. That's all there is to this unit specifically, is the fact that they added a bit more details, such as like right here, this little vent right here, these little thingies. There is probably a thruster down here. His claws look a bit more detailed here, just to make it more simple. Things like that. Yeah, I can see it.
I can actually find that's a difference. Besides that, let's
Yeah, let's see. It's painfully obvious the differences between them here.
move on to the next one. Now going over Gundam Thunderbolt, the Gogg did get a redesign,
Ugh,
however
I hate
not that much
Thunderbolt.
has changed, so this is going to be pretty short. So first up is appearance, and the Thunderbolt Gogg looks just as big as the original
I
Gogg,
hate
but
it.
somehow
Ugh.
also looks thinner, and I feel like it's the thin long arms to blame, because I don't know why, he just looks so much thinner, but just looks just as big. So
I hate
first
it.
thing I want to talk about is actually speed. The Thunderbolt Gogg is significantly faster than the regular Gogg, and that's because he can collapse his legs, making pseudo sleds, which allows him to traverse ground much faster than the original Gogg. And the final thing I want to talk about is his arms. His arms are much thinner and longer than the original Gogg's, but that's not the only change. If we look at his palms, they're not actually iron nails, they look like blade claws. Now these bladed claws do have an interesting thing about them. In the anime, they're just depicted as regular sharp blades, being able to cut and slash things. However, in the manga, they're actually heat-based weapons like the Heat Hawk. Now, why they didn't show this in the anime could be a few reasons. It could be that they forgot, or maybe there was just a slight oversight, or maybe they just didn't want to spend the time animating that because the Gogg only appears for maybe less than a minute, so they maybe wanted to put the time and resources on something else. And that's everything I want to talk about with the Gogg. Him being the first amphibious mobile suit, he had a lot of problems, but thankfully these problems were fixed in future amphibious mobile suits. However, because of that, the Gogg got outdated really fast. Future amphibious mobile suits could just do what he did but better. And the only time Zeon went back to the Gogg was with the High Gogg, but the High Gogg changed so much you can't really compare them. But with all that being said, I still like the Gogg. He's this weird, big, chunky mobile suit that
I love
don't know
him.
why, his design just always sat with me. But it's clear that the Gogg's not the most popular amphibious mobile suit.
It's really
He's not the
not,
most
yeah.
interesting, not the most coolest, doesn't have the coolest lore, so always gets pushed into a corner. He doesn't really appear in any side stories or appear really that much in the build series as well, but thankfully he still appears in a lot of video games. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Amphibious Analysis. Stay tuned for the next episode, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Like always, my name is Softcake. Have a good one, and see you guys next time.
Alright, guys, so I just want to say, what the hell?
Hello, everyone.
No, don't do that, you son of a bitch. Alright, guys, I just want to say thank y'all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed. I know I did. I really love this model. I love learning about Gundams, but like I've said 1,000 times, I like learning more about like the units themselves, because I'll be completely honest, I could give less than a crap about. I really don't care much for Xeon, nor do I care for the Federation. I just really like the models, like the designs and everything. I hope that's okay with you. If it's not, then that's fine. I generally do this more for me than I do for you, honestly. So yeah, if there's any other model Gundams you want me to learn about, please do let me know in the comment section. I'm trying to do a better job of actually trying to stay on track, because lately, life kind of just really wants me to deal with some stuff, and I may or may not have lost a friendship of 10 plus years, but to be honest, it's fine. It's not fine necessarily, but it was going to happen eventually, because sometimes as you grow up, you kind of start drifting away from people, and sometimes the people you talk to either become better people or different, and I guess in my case, I just became more bitter, and my friend became more toxic towards me, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on the matter, right? Because to be honest, you're all here more for Gundam videos and not really to learn more about my sad life and my sad stories. Anyway, love you guys. Take care, stay safe, be good people. Remember, date someone if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Date someone who will help you become a better person, who will help you be the best version of you can be, not a fuck boy that looks like Alpharad. Anyway, love you guys. I'll see you all later. Bye.